Alright, welcome in YouTube stream. Let me just make sure the YouTube stream is good, then we'll get started. Yeah, it looks like it. Okay, cool. Yes, okay. So let me say for YouTube viewers, you might remember my last few streams have just ended on crashes. I think there's something that happens when I do the dual streaming to YouTube and Twitch at the same time. If this stream ends abruptly on YouTube, you can continue watching me over on Twitch. And if it keeps happening in the future, I'll probably only stream to... When I do a stream that's important enough for YouTube, I'm gonna keep it only to YouTube. Welcome in. So we've got here the Twilight Princess Decompilation, and Dusk is the project. We're gonna be taking a look at what we can of it. I was going to record some footage of it. By the way, this is a really sick, like, starting launcher right here, right? Because it goes right in from here, the settings. Right into it. That's pretty nifty. So we'll take a look at what it offers here. I was gonna record some footage for comparison, and I did for the GameCube version. I was going to then get Wii U footage, and I can explain why it didn't work, but I wasn't able to get it in a timely manner. And I was like, I'm already not feeling too great, so I'm just gonna go with this, and it's really okay, because as you can see, it's already... This is the visual parody with the game, except it's mirrored, so let me unmirror it. There. So it's this is, you know, how it looks on GameCube. This is the proper 4:3 of the game. And we've got all sorts of settings in here to improve it from here going forward. And we'll take a look at those once we get some cutscenes started here. And take a look at some comparisons. This shit's really cool here. Starting with, so it's like, you have the how the game looks on original hardware, and this is also why I wasn't gonna stress the comparison footage too, because I can literally pull this up and start toggling each like graphic setting as we go along. So let's see. Wait till we get. I mean, every shot in this opening is pretty ideal for comparing. This is not at all like my favorite Zelda game. I talk a lot of trash on it, but I am really happy for people who do. For someone who likes Wind Waker, I am happy for people that love this one as much as I love Wind Waker. Same with Ocarina of Time. So I'm very happy in that respect, so I understand the excitement and when people want to get into this game, and I'm going to consider it too. So you can go feature by feature, like unlocked frame rate. So now I got the game running at 120. If I want to keep how the game looked on GameCube, but with the higher frame rate, that is an option. If I want to turn it up a notch, make it 16:9, there we go. And we keep going from there. Shadow resolution all the way up to 8 times. How about bloom? Dusk has its own way of handling bloom. Does a higher quality pass, it says there. Or turn it off entirely. I'll keep it on for now, but I would want to disable it. Even change the intensity of it anyway. And this is a good shot for the internal resolution. Just crank that up to 5K. I'm still getting 120 FPS. That makes sense. Or auto. This, render-wise, it supports ultra-wide. But it does not, the UI scaling does not properly scale to ultra-wide. So for now, at least for the sake of streaming, I'll keep it to 16:9. Or like 10 times, yeah. There's a high resolution texture pack, the one people recommend right now. It's download sources on a Google Drive, and that Google Drive is over download queue because everyone's getting in on this game. So I don't have the HD texture packs right now. They put achievements in here. Go through these as we're going here. But I mean, yeah, it's like if I wanted to really compare how the game looked on original hardware, I have all the toggles to do that myself right here. And I can just go through and toggle everything there. So whatever it's like we have what we need, and it is a decompilation. It's not recompilation. But goddamn, the accuracy is crazy, and the customization is. I just want to applaud it. You know, that's why I'm happy to like immediately go into this, because I'm just happy to show off like the features that they're out of the gate with this are. It's compatible with all sorts of texture packs already, and mods that were done for the GameCube version already. It's got mod launcher support. It's got a lot of projects already in the works being supported. And it's really cool to see. This is the beginning of something, and it's really cool that as they finish the decompilation, they're just out the gate with these supported versions. This is already on Steam Deck, Android, like all sorts of platforms already. If you want to like play the game on Steam Deck or whatever Android handheld you'd have, if you wanted that, it's already there and ready to go. Like, they're out the gate with it. Yeah, toggle all these settings. I'm debating on how I want to go through it. I am always a fan of intended resolution. At least when it's gonna look like this. If it had like the, oh yeah, there's also free camera. I think that's an important thing to have too. So you get a free camera, moving it with the right analog stick. There's gyro support if you want it. Turbo buttons. Audio, some settings for that. Some tweaks for that. Here's all the difficulty and other settings. Now let me, and here's all the quality of life things I'm gonna scroll through on screen. Speedrun mode too for, and live split connection, really cool stuff. Like I'm saying, like these nice features out of the gate, and this is only the beginning in what this is gonna offer. When I played the original game, I played it on Wii. So I am going to play mirror mode, even though everything still controls with GameCube. I get to enjoy the familiarity I had with the original game, thanks to the mirror mode setting. And all sorts of cheats. Turn on audit item timer. But any of these also. Download the game. You got to get your own rip of the ISO. I'm already, you know, streaming this, putting this on YouTube. I'm already under a scope, so sorry, I can't help you there. I will say you have to use your own rip of the game. If you have a Wii and you have a GameCube, then you are able to get your own ISO. Otherwise, good luck. Oops. I just wanted to back out from there. Boy, is this nice. What I'm gonna do here is, and I don't know how much of this we're gonna play up to. What I'm gonna do is, original look. I'll keep it at 4x3 for now. And turn the bloom on. Might as well for going this far. But I'll keep the uncapped frame rate. And the right analog stick controls. This is nice. The another note here, just like about Twilight Princess. Actually, does it have it here? If you go to options and you go to screen ratio. This game has a built-in ratio check there to make sure that those are square. And it's like, this is a little wider than 4x3 should be. Because you can see there, it goes into my little chat box there. But that is how the game is on original hardware. When I recorded it, for the GameCube version to test it, yeah, the GameCube versions also does the same thing where it's a little wider than actual 4x3. In that the ratio is correct, it's just the game renders a little wider. A smidge wider. Yeah, I'm considering how I want to play. Frame rate, definitely turn that up. Although the game had really good frame pacing already. When I was testing on real hardware, it was like the 30 FPS is hardly a big deal. It feels nice. Feels perfectly smooth. But 120 FPS always feel nice, and especially free camera. That's so nice. Yeah, GameCube, yeah, some games had odd resolutions. 448, I don't even think it was just, GameCube. But you know, I was at the era with, those consoles, what they rendered at was, a square output because your CRT TV would stretch it to 4x3. That was the idea. I'm gonna go on my CRT rant here. Well, propaganda. CRTs do not have pixels. They're not made up of pixels. So you can stretch an image and not get the shimmering or artifacting that you get on a modern display when you stretch something to 4x3 proper. Out of integer scale. You know, there is no artifacting, to a game not integer scale on a CRT. So this just like this is ideal. It's just right out of the gate correct. And don't have to worry about anything else. Though I mean, it's not like a Dolphin doing 4x3 is a setting it has, and it just works right away. Wait, where did I go? Hold on, I gotta get Epona. Game has nice music, yeah. I can see why for Skyward Sword they went orchestral. Like, I think we were at that point where we were ready for it going forward. And I remember why it was a big deal back then. Like, that was a big deal. It was part of the marketing even that Skyward Sword was gonna have a orchestrated soundtrack. I remember that. And this game's great. This game's music is still great. I can see why they were moving. They were ready for it though. Oops. Okay, let's get our. That's nice. All right. Though I will say, once you get to this point, it's like you might as well turn up the other settings. Yeah, when I play Ocarina of Time on Ship of Harkinian, which I do a lot of, I've been doing Archipelago randomizers utilizing Ship of Harkinian. I'm doing with 3DS textures actually. I'm a big fan of how the 3DS Ocarina of Time looked. So I have all sorts of 3DS textures and models, mods for it, and I really prefer how that looks. If I'm playing original Ocarina of Time and 64 graphics, I really prefer to keep it at 4:3. Keep it at 4:3. Hold on. Oh, I didn't even start the game. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm just trying to raw dog it here. All right, there we go. It was funny that I tried that without thinking. Do you like a higher FPS on Ship of Arcinian? With the 3DS stuff, yeah. Actually, I've kind of gotten over how weird it is to take the 20 FPS original game and interpolate its animations to 60. That used to be weird to me, but I think it looks fine. I don't really mind it. Yeah, even that, I'm fine with. It's perfectly fine. It's fine at 24, or whatever it was, 20. Just N64 or widescreen, right? That's why I think the mods at least help. So you're not looking at the exact same image you're familiar with. But yeah, this is we'll see what sort of modding projects we can get going forward. Higher FPS feels cursed for sure. With Mario 64 at 60 FPS, that's a really hard one to go back from. The game, I really like how the game looks at 60 FPS in Mario 64, and that one is hard to go back to 30. But Ocarina of Time, strangely a lot easier to go back to how it was. Oh, if it's interpolated, then yeah, it is running at a higher frame rate. It absolutely is. Interpolation's not like AI or anything. Let's see that. Dusk feels toned down. I think it's a little wider too, but it's hard to tell from. Let's keep it on for a little bit. This also feels a little. It feels like I'm playing on an overclocked GameCube. You know. That's how I describe it. I don't think there's gonna be much bloom to see out here, but... yeah, you can just see how it handles the difference. But I mean, when I play personally, if I'm playing personally, I'm gonna turn bloom off entirely, to be honest. When I am going to play through the whole game, I'm more than likely... I thought I was gonna do it like this at the internal resolution, but I don't know. I might just keep it all the way up. At auto. This kind of feels like I might as well. Yeah, I'm a fan of the 3DS version's animations. And that's your other way of handling, you can interpolate the original animations from 20 to 30 or up to 60, or just reanimate them. And Rezo's solution for Zelda 3DS was to reanimate them. And I think they achieved really good results. I think when Ship of Arcinian first released, and it was interpolated frame rates, I didn't like how they looked. I think they improved it over time though. They figured out how to get a higher quality, better looking interpolation out of it. And now it doesn't really bug me. the way they have it, it looks like effortless. Like if you didn't know what frame interpolation was, or that if you didn't know the animations were baked at 20 FPS originally, you wouldn't even know like it was a thing. They just have it like straight up looking like the game's always running at a higher frame rate underneath when it wasn't. Feels great. Actual higher frame rates. Those old games are snappy to begin with. Yeah, they are. That's what I was saying. Like 30 FPS, Twilight Princess still feels fine.
Lamp oil, rope,
Bombs.
You want it?
It's yours. Sorry, Twitch viewers. I forgot. Sorry, YouTube viewers. I forgot about my Twitch sounds. I also turned off my Fugi and Avatar for this one. But I did not turn off the sound effects for this stream. These are things I keep on the Twitch stream. Here, I'll smash through it.
Get help.
Thanks, Cloud. That was Garsuri that redeemed that one. Thanks. So looking at this too, I can see why people were like wanting the upscale texture packs, and I was trying to get them, but you know, if anyone backports the Twilight Princess HD ones, maybe that would work too. That might be fine, but I don't remember how it looked because. So I was trying to get up my backup copy of Twilight Princess working on my Wii U, so I can record it so I could compare it to this footage. The SD card I have my Wii U games on is formatted incorrectly. And so it's doing that issue where you can't have files larger than 4 GB on it. So it's not working. Other games are playing off of it just fine, but Twilight Princess is larger than 4 GB. I think it's like 5 GB on Wii U. And it's not working. So it was like I would have to fiddle and reformat the SD card and to get it functioning to play the game. Or I can just let it go because, again, this already has all the settings I could want. However, I want to show you the game. You know, like there, we've got GameCube visuals. Yeah, I don't even know how I made that mistake. Like originally, when I was setting it up, I guess I just wasn't thinking about it. I don't, that's such a weird, like, ish thing I accidentally did. Oh yeah, it's like if you want the 4x3, yeah, sure, why not? But like I was saying, the UI isn't properly scaling to whatever the aspect ratio. This is how the game renders, but it's not how the UI is perceived. For here, it seems fine. I think, but yeah, I think it's with some UI elements, such as the save screen. Like this is stretching. We go to here. It's stretching this UI. Is it? Yeah, it is. Some things are. Not everything, though. But anyway. When not streaming it, I will... Oh, man. When I'm not streaming it, I'll be able to just play it ultra wide. Okay. Still got the fishing rod, right? Yeah, thank God. This might be nice, just to play it at 4x3 like this. Until I play the ultra wide. When I do Wind Waker rando right now, though, I do play it's GameCube version in Dolphin. I do play that at 16:9. The 16:9 mod for Wind Waker got significantly better. And it looks great. Not the mod, but like the gecko code for it. Damn it. Yeah, I do remember at the time when the game came out, even people were criticizing how busy the UI was starting to get from prior Zelda games. I remember that criticism. So that right there is a quality of life thing to where you only have to catch one fish for this cat. So there's some like universal quality of life changes, there's some situational ones. This is just like a starting one. I don't think there's in the Wii U version there's less tiers to collect during those segments. But you still have to collect the same amount of tiers in this version, and maybe we'll see that if I go for that long tonight. But there is faster tiers of light in that when they drop, they come to you really, really fast. And that, when I was toggling that off and on and off and testing it earlier, it was like, oh yeah, that's pretty good. The tiers always annoyed me. So that's one thing. 16 versus 12. Yeah, you still got to get 16 here, but once they drop from the monster, they come to you really fast. Practically instantly. It's very nice. Hopefully we can get that, because I think that's a good feature. That's part of my beef with Twilight Princess, is just the pacing of this game. And from here to Skyward Sword, just more filler kept getting introduced. And in this game has you like doing quite a bit before it even lets you into the first dungeon. Now I gotta go get 30 rupees. Now Ocarina of Time also made you do that though, so you know. I get for this specifically for farming rupees, I can't fault it too much. You know, if I'm giving Ocarina of Time a pass on it, you know. It's whatever, I'll explore a little more, and I'll get the type. I need to drop that. I don't have slingshot, so I cannot drop that. Xenoblade X video. I will, general update. I was talking about it before, but thankfully it's concise enough that I don't mind bringing it back up. The thing with videos in general is... Oh, nice. So at the beginning of this year, my mom passed away. So I've got a lot going on in general, both grieving-wise and otherwise. And for now, like, anything video-wise is gonna just have to be on hold. And I would say it's probably gonna end up staying on hold until her estate is closed. That's gonna be a good frame of reference. Is until her estate is closed, I'm probably gonna be more inactive. I appreciate it. It's been rough. But yeah, that's all I need to, like, you know, go into it on. Xenoblade X, yeah, I'd like to. I was already so far into the game, like, ready to make a video. I just finished Dragon Quest II the other day. So Dragon Quest 1 and 2, I very well could get started on a video for. I was going to push myself to do a Final Fantasy VII video, like recover Final Fantasy VII, do an updated version of that video. But even then it was like, No, I need more time to myself. I need to give myself more time to relax. So that's why it's easiest to just say is like, it's gonna be a while before I'm back on track with videos. But I do think I should stream every once in a while, especially because I'm not doing well. Channel revenue is also starting to not do well either. So, doing what I can. Just for the YouTube algorithm to not completely forget about me. But I will, worry about that more in time, because at the moment I'm fine. I'm doing fine anyway. But for now, like, a good break of just not sweating any videos and just, relaxing. Remembering why, like, gaming is such a, hobby I'm passionate about and enjoy outside of videos will probably do me some good. That's why I've been digging playing so many, like, randomizers as of late. Jay and I were going through Star Fox Adventures. There we go. Now I got enough. We're going through Star Fox Adventures over on Twitch. It's a little, it's at least fun for that game. It's getting pretty annoying, but like it is a fun game. A lot of charm to it. There we go. Oh yeah, I have the thing to where if I hold the B button, it instantly goes through dialogue. I'm gonna bring back the widescreen. Yeah, just trying my best to like flip through these settings so we remember it. 64 and 8 billion clones. And Assault. I love Assault. Assault is my favorite. But, oh, jeez. Assault is my favorite, but I knew Adventure would be a more fun game to see. And it is getting to a point, though, where the game is annoying. And at least the other thing with like, a lot of my friends, I've just been also revisiting Star Fox games. And I guess that works out, because most of those games are not really that long. Like, you could, if you wanted to, you could marathon through the SNES game, 64, and Assault. At least those first three in a day, in an afternoon. Right? Like, and then Assault maybe a session or two. It's still a short game. But you might get some, I think people might get more fatigue from it. My thing about Assault, though, was it was such a cool game. It has annoying things about it, and I get it too. Like, criticisms for Assault make sense to me. It was a game that I just repeatedly played when I was young. Just because I thought it was such a cool, it was so cool. The design, the music, the characters in it. What I would like to do, though, is when I want to play Star Fox Assault in Japanese. If anyone else doesn't know, the Japanese version of Star Fox Assault has more emotive characters. Like, everyone actually has expressions. And it's kind of crazy that they are just completely, like, absent in the North American version. In North American version, there is no, like, real emoting or facial expression. And then you look at the Japanese version, and there totally is. It's really cool. At this point, you know, it's like, yeah, that would be really cool to revisit Star Fox Assault just to play it in Japanese for that sake. I already know what I'm doing, so I don't really need the dialogue necessarily. But it would be cool to have a mod project that brings the Japanese version's animations over. This game doesn't have nearly as much hit stop in it as I thought there was. Actually, is it affected by the... Here, back to original frame rate. L target. Yeah. Oops, not long enough. Hello, Ben. Welcome. I don't like those messages. Never mind. Get out of here. Okay. How much did I delete a lot more of chat than just those messages? No, I didn't. It was just Dama's message. Yeah, this frame rate is fine. I'm getting used to the higher frame rate though. I'm gonna increase it back. But yeah, the game has good frame pacing, so 30 isn't like a huge deal. Yeah, I've been rocking Bloom off. Yeah, so everything's maxed out. So this is probably how I'm gonna end up playing the game, is just as enhanced as it can be. Yeah, I put a lot of time into Ship of Harkinian, doing archipelago randomizers and just randomizers built in general. I have a lot of fun with that. I don't know if I'm gonna do that with Twilight Princess though, because I've already talked about how I like this game, or my feelings on it rather. And I'm really taking it as like this is gonna be this project will give me the motivation to finally like fully finish it. On Wii, I played like, I had forgotten how much I played of it. I played like 90% of the whole damn game. So I'm really surprised I didn't finish it originally, actually. But I played a ton of it. I played way more of Twilight Princess than I thought I did when I was young. Seeds. They already. I'd like to get more face buttons. More than just Y and X. That'll be nice when they can get that going. Being able to customize the buttons too will be nice. When it went on forever compared to earlier Zelda games. Right. Yeah, and then, I mean, after I played Skyward Sword, I finished Skyward Sword. I complained about it a lot. But I finished it. And that pacing was significantly worse. It was too, like, with Zelda, for me, it does get to a point where it's like, with the amount of filler, like things they kept adding in on Wind Waker, on Twilight Princess and then Skyward Sword. And Wind Waker's not exempt from it either, a little bit, like the Triforce Hunt, for example. I love Wind Waker, it's my favorite one, absolutely. But I will admit to its faults like that. It's not as egregious, I think, but... So it was like... If, I'm not necessarily sure I want a new Zelda game that plays like these ones instead of Breath of the Wild, because if it's just gonna be more filler, like how they kept going in that direction with Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword, if they just kept going in that direction, maybe I don't want another one of those games. But a lot of people love Twilight Princess. And I don't want to really put it down, because like some people see it in the same way I do see Wind Waker, as I was talking about earlier. People say this game or see Ocarina of Time in that way. Yeah. Yeah, there's a stream playthrough on Go to Bedcast on YouTube where I played it. Skyward Sword. My whole playthrough was streamed. That was very likely like 10 years ago now. Like, it was a long time ago. That full playthrough of Skyward Sword is up there. I don't really, you know, if you like the game, I wouldn't recommend watching it. I think if I streamed it again, I would try to make it more enjoyable to play through, but watching me go through the game blind, I don't think that, well, for like most of it, when the game came out on Wii, I did play up a good like half of it when it originally came out, and then the stream playthrough is me fully finishing it. But yeah, it's not like a playthrough from someone who's really is passionate about it, so I don't know if it would be as good to watch anyway. The one thing about it was, I don't remember what happened. I had some tech issue in the middle of one of the streams where, I think my nunchuck stopped working. So I had to, in the middle of the stream, I went to Walmart to get a new nunchuck. And I got like this rock candy looking nunchuck, and I still have it. But that was like the only thing I really remember from that stream playthrough. Oh, so much for that rupee. For a good long while, I was also wary about streaming, not streaming, playing through randomizers of Ocarina of Time, because it's that's a really big game and a big world, and how you have to find items all throughout the world is not nearly as conventional as like it is in Wind Waker. They don't really ask you to do so many things like within, well, the way they, I don't know how to put it. There's nothing in Wind Waker that says like as much built like puzzles. I guess that's not entirely true, because Windfall does have like a number of small things to do in it. But though most of them are with talking with people, they're like side quests. They're short side quests in Wind Waker. In Ocarina of Time, it wasn't as many, there were side quests, but it was more items or just like puzzles in the environments in town. They don't do that nearly as much in the other games. So I was resistant, I guess, I wasn't as on board with the idea of doing randomizers in Ocarina of Time. But as time has gone on and I've just like said fuck it and done it anyway, I've kind of gotten over it. So now I don't really care as much these days. Let's see if I want to go back to the original resolution. Excuse me. As more time goes on, I feel like crazy for saying like I prefer these things at their original resolutions. Keyboard inputs aren't working, game says. Oh, sign not bound. I press a key and it still says not bound. That's annoying. How is it so far? It's really nice. It's really cool that like the announcement of the decompilation, at least I'm pretty sure, it feels like it's coupled with the release of Dusk as like a port, and that's so accessible too. And the potential here, again, like a big thing is this is already impressive, and the potential for it is fantastic to see. That's another thing is, like, even regardless of how I feel about Twilight Princess, like, these things happen because there are people passionate about the games that do love them. Like, Twilight Princess means a lot to a lot of people to get done in, like, with all this and have this potential and have, like, all the modding projects people are working on now. You know, it says a lot for how much people love it. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Once I'm not streaming and I'll just be playing the game at ultra wide resolution, then yeah, I'm probably gonna play a lot more of it. I also did over on Go to Bedcast, I have playthroughs of Ocarina of Time 3D. But it was back before Citra had analog controls. So I'm playing like the Ocarina of Time 3D, but I'm playing it with 8-way movement, and it sucked. That was so frustrating to have done. I can't believe I did that. And it wasn't long after that when Citra finally got analog controls. You play with one controller or keyboard. I'm playing this with controller, so I can't really help on the keyboard front. Forgot what I was about to say. Yeah, it's something to do with controls. Just play. Oh yeah, there's autosaves too. If you've noticed in the bottom left, I think my watermark is hiding it, but it does have autosaves. I kind of want to keep it like this for now. Oh yeah, the shadow on the mini-map, you can turn that off if you want. If you think it looks cleaner without the mini-map shadow. Depth of field as a toggle, I'll leave it on. This game's depth of field isn't, they figured it out by this point. The depth of field in Wind Waker can be distracting, but it's fine here. Actually, something else, now that I think about it, Twilight Princess doesn't have dithering the same way Wind Waker does either. I almost feel like it should, but it doesn't. I recently got a new controller. I got a 8-bit Do Ultimate 2. I was getting the main controller I use, an Xbox Series X controller. It's one that has like it's almost like a defect one, because the face buttons on it are extremely easy to press and feel really good. But every other Series X controller I've gotten since does not have the easy to press buttons. So I feel like the one I have where it feels really good is a defect. It's not supposed to feel like that. But that one is old and I've replaced parts on it multiple times. And the thing is, I keep getting third-party analog sticks and they keep like disintegrating. So I just, you know, I just took my chances, got an Ultimate 2. I would really like that Steam controller, actually. I was thinking, damn, that actually has a lot of features I would love to utilize. But it's not, I thought about that too late after it was already gone. Maybe when they're like consistently back in stock, I'll grab one. But for now, the Ultimate 2, this thing's great. I was very thankful the face buttons on this feel really good. That was like really the main thing I was looking at, was how easy it is to press the face buttons while still being clicky. They're clicky, they're easy to press, they have good travel. Not mushy. And they're not that loud. The Xbox controller buttons are really loud and these ones are not loud at all. You can make them loud, but... Yeah, really big fan of this controller. I don't like that the gyro operates on its own, like, thing using software. And it doesn't work with, like in here, the options for gyro, this has nothing to do with the controller's gyro. As far as I can tell, like, you can't... It has a completely independent gyro system. Where what it'll do is I will hold down a macro button on the controller, and then it will have the gyro of the controller emulate either the left analog stick or the right analog stick. Hi, Streetcar, welcome. Yeah, I'll throw out again that I'm gonna keep streaming. I'm gonna keep going for like another half hour or so. If the YouTube stream vanishes, we'll have to... I mean, this is a test run, basically, to see if I still have those issues. HD looks better. I could turn the resolution back up. But I will definitely be on board once, like, the, textures... You know, I want to see Twilight Princess HD textures get ported to this. These are the vanilla textures. This is not the, HD textures. I wasn't able to download those because the host for them is on Google Drive, and the Google Drive download limit quota is exceeded. So no one's gonna be able to download those things for a while. You can play it on Cemu too, that's right, yeah, yeah. Or on real hardware too. Which is what I was explaining earlier. I was gonna do that. So I had footage to compare it to. Essentially the SD card I have the game installed and back up to for my Wii U is formatted wrong. So it's like I could spend like the evening getting my Wii U situation sorted so I could actually play the game and record it. It's not 60 FPS on Wii U? Oh, that's true, yeah, Cemu can do 60 FPS, right? That would be a good way to play it, yeah. I will be on board for this, though, if they can backport the textures. I look forward to that. This will probably be a good time to see what the bloom for Dusk is more like. See how I feel about that. Yeah, I might wait on those textures, but I guess that's part of why I wanted to play at the native resolution. Like, the textures are gonna be so noticeably, like, blurry and distorted. I feel like maybe the models complement it better in that regard. Oh, I still have the menu open. Just flip it. Oop. That middle slot doesn't matter anymore, but... That bloom is pulsing. Is it supposed to? Yes, it is. Alright, fair enough. I tone it down too, though, if I want. I'll turn it to like 50. That is like totally the bloom, right? Oh, hell, man. Damn. I was gonna say, that's still like toned down too if I crank it to 100 where it should be, and then flip through it. And then it's like, how do you... You know what's had me thinking about this? I talked about it earlier with how Resident Evil 9 and like even Pragmata, any of the RE Engine games where if you changing the look of the game like this much can sometimes be the equivalent of what ray tracing and path tracing does. Maybe not to this degree, but it definitely hits that idea of what was the developer's original intention for how this was supposed to look? And that idea is becoming less valuable, at least for newer games over time. And it's kind of leaning me in the direction of just whatever your personal preference is. But then again, it's still the idea of... if you're seeing it with like bilinear filters, is it worse than how it would look if it was like original hardware? No, those situations where it just looks worse than it used to be, I guess I'm more cautious of. Yeah, I see the appeal. Let's just go with the classic for a little bit. We're gonna be down here a while. Yeah, crank this up too. Yeah, crank it all back up. Okay. There we go. You know, 120 should be able to pretty, depending on what hardware you got. I did see, like, they didn't release a Switch version, but I did see someone a few hours ago does have it running on Switch Homebrew, which is really funny. The pulsing, I can't unsee the pulse, the bloom pulsing now. Alright, I agree with Dusk. I was feeling like if you're gonna play at the... you should still like see what you prefer yourself. It felt like if you're gonna do the higher internal resolution, then you might as well play with the bloom setting set to dusk. If you're gonna play at the original native resolution, then it should be classic. Or just off. After seeing that difference in this whole area entirely, like it's not just bloom, that's color grading. You know, that's the intended like color grading. It's like I kind of want to preserve that a little bit. Oops. Yeah. And dig. Yeah, the potential here is so promising. It's really nice. I don't think we've got, like, anything for Wind Waker Decompilation, I don't think is anywhere near, like, this far along either. I think that also speaks to how much more, like, how strong the love for this game can be. Though granted, I'm perfectly fine with the state of Wind Waker. When I do my randomizer runs, I'm perfectly fine with just Dolphin 16:9. You know what I was doing? I was doing frame gen using smooth motion. But it was actually making me like a little like motion sick. Oops, sets. Yeah, there's like, question of like, how do you feel about like the strength of this bloom? But wow, that's different. Just to disable it entirely. Especially when you get like the idea of the Twilight. Yeah, now that I think about it, when I was playing through this earlier to try it out, aside from like the particle effects, like this suits it a bit better in conveying it. So what happens if you turn this all the way down? Oh yeah, it does get closer to the original, okay. So you do like 50. A nice medium that really pushes it. Still getting an idea of what it can look like. Since I spoke on everything else, I'm not really a big fan of Majora's Mask either, but I can totally respect it. I see where people put value in it. It's not for me though. Having the free camera in this game is so nice though, man. Like that's a pretty underrated feature here, is having the free camera. Here, see, I know that's why I'm like, you know, it's I recognize why people love it. and the cool shit it does. But it is not one I'm like eager to replay through much of at all, comparatively. Compared to how I do like yearly playthroughs and yearly randomizers of Wind Waker. And I've started doing like a lot more with Ocarina of Time when I get in the mood for it. But I really can't see myself doing that with the other 3D Zeldas. Oh yeah, there was a project recently for Minish Cap decomp, I think. The GBA ones, GBA emulation, especially like in terms of sound quality or how the original image is supposed to look, there could be value in that. Nintendo's emulation is actually really good for those things. But there's no problem with just more decomps and shit. You know, like the potential there is always cool. Oops. Bad idea. Oops, bad idea. Target? There you go. At this point, I think we'll just try. I'll just try to get up to the first dungeon start. I won't finish the first dungeon on stream, but we'll get up to it at this point. We might as well. We'll do through hopefully the tiers. Oh, it's only 9 o'clock. Yeah, we'll try to at least get the tiers done today. And that'll be a pretty good, like, demonstration of the whole project. Yeah, a lot of the things I've been just, like, trying to enjoy in my time has been some randomizer projects. Pokemon Stadium was a new one I tried. And I'm a really big fan of that one in the archipelago because your rental Pokemon and their randomized movesets, the rental Pokemon themselves are part of the randomizer that people unlock for you and are checks themselves. Well, not that they are checks, but everyone can find your rental Pokemon for you. And I think that's a really cool way of doing it. It's doing Thips 1+2. I did do a birthday archipelago the other month. Yeah, last month I did another birthday archipelago like I did last year, but I only did that one on Twitch. And I didn't make it as elaborate as what I programmed and designed for the Twitch one for the YouTube one last year. Cuz that was a lot of work and it was so much work managing the stream itself that I didn't really get to play as much of the game as I wanted to. The one I did this year went a lot smoother, and I think it was only like 3-4 hours the whole stream with like 10 people's games. It's pretty nice to get through it that fast. Zubat sounds. Here. I went through a Star Fox recomp. That one's a recomp project. Went through one for Star Fox 64. And give it a shot. And that's one where, yeah, I'm digging it. Star Fox 64 doesn't mean as much to me as it means to some others. My N64 game of, like, addiction was Smash 64. Which, Decompilation project aside, when it gets rollback, I would like to get some friends in on that. Once we can play Smash 64 Remix with rollback netcode, I would definitely like to get some friends in on that. That'll be a lot of fun. I do have everything to play Smash Remix on real hardware too now. Oops. I got an expansion pack not too long ago, so I could and I have the backup cartridge to just play Smash 64 Remix on real hardware, which is really cool. But yeah. Decomp Sin and Punishment, that would be cool. Sin and Punishment's a cool game. Underrated. It's underrated for sure. And hello, Void, welcome. Ooh. I tried my best. Was it worth it? No, because it respawned. Oh no, this one's different. Distorted Brawl. I haven't had a... Actually, it was a... What is it? Our friend Cheat, way back in like 2010? It was it was before Smash 3DS was even a thing. It was before the 3DS was out. It was like I lost my, no, my copy of Brawl stopped working. Too many scratches. I used like really terrible at maintaining discs. And then she bought me another copy. And then I got that copy damaged. It's like, god damn it, man. And that was still at a point where backups weren't like optimal to really do yet. Especially because Brawl was a dual layered disc, which is what made it more complicated. That's how the game was dual layered. But anyway, he got me that copy just so we could actually play the game online more. And then even with that gifted copy, I treated it poorly. It sucks. Granted, I can't imagine doing that now, not even like when the netcode still sucks. Or for like even Smash Ultimate. For sure, we definitely got our playtime in though, over the years. With how much we played Smash Wii U and 3DS, so I guess it worked out. They're working on an archipelago for Subspace Emissary in Brawl, and I'm gonna be, once that's further along, I'm pretty excited for that. The archipelago for Melee is pretty cool in what you can do with it. The one for Brawl focuses on subspace, and that's fine. That's a pretty cool way of doing it too. And I guess those are the most fitting ones for it. I guess Smash Wii U does have like enough game modes to do more archipelago interactive stuff with it, though. I don't think like the have as much replayability to it. World of Light, though, in Smash Ultimate, actually, yeah, that one would work a lot better. But I think we're way off from that happening. I was thinking about reshade just for like ambient occlusion. Yeah, I was thinking about getting reshade just for that, but also for a CRT filter. Yeah, I could see that. I don't think it necessarily needs one. But maybe it wouldn't hurt. Yeah, you know, it wouldn't hurt. I remember the night Brawl came out and I was up all night. And I finished Subspace Emissary in 2 days. Practically playing all the way through it straight. But then at some point over the years, what happened was that my Wii fell off, it was always on my dresser. It was a pretty high up dresser, like 5 feet tall dresser. And it fell down, it fell on the carpet. But it still fell. And ever since then, the disk drive in it sounded like a goddamn motor. It was loud. So I sent it to Nintendo for repairs. And when I got it back, all the save files were gone. So I had a friend come over and we co-opted through Subspace Emissary. And that was a lot of fun. Yeah, exactly. It would hide things like, mesh things like Wolf Link's hair. But yeah, and then so replayed through Subspace Emissary with a friend. In co-op when that happened. And the really cool thing about when that happened was, when that happened, I did lose, like, all my Virtual Console stuff was gone. Because Nintendo didn't have an account system then. But I don't know how this works. When I did import things to the Wii U, and I bought during the lifetime of this channel, I had to get I think I don't remember which video I got a Wii U for. It might have been Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. Or Tales of Symphonia. It might have been FF Chronicles. I got a used Wii U, and I linked it to my account, and when I linked it to my Nintendo account, which required me calling Nintendo and being on a call with someone to do so, in the virtual Wii mode on the Wii U, when it carried over my account, it carried over all my Virtual Console purchases from when I got my Wii in 2006. And I don't know how that worked, but I was thankful for it because I bought so many like N64 games on that thing. So it was really cool that just like I can go onto the Wii shop at any time now and just purchase any of my, not purchase, but re-download any of those games I bought back in like 2007, 2008. They're all still there and can just be re-downloaded. You know, for aside from backups and WADs and whatever, that's cool that it's able to do that, and that's for preservation's sake. But the fact that I can do that, like, as an official means is still pretty cool. It's just really cool that that's, like, still there. You played any Dark Souls games? Not in co-op. Boy, howdy, do I wish we could do that with Bloodborne. Bloodborne seamless co-op would be great. Bloodborne is definitely my favorite Souls game. I think I was trying to do Dark Souls 3. I don't remember what happened. I was playing Dark Souls 3 at the same time as a lot of other people. Same with Elden Ring, but I kind of just fell behind. Elden Ring I fell behind on because I was just like frustrated with my PC's performance with the game. And I didn't want to really just keep playing it when it was like stuttering and hardly 60. It's pretty annoying. Since then it'd be fine, but... 3 I started with. 3 is very, very good. Three, Elden Ring and Bloodborne, very good games. 1 is still good, but the other 3 I think are a tier above, for me at least. Let's see. Need to get a sword and shield. Yeah, with seamless co-op, I would be more eager to go back to Elden Ring. For sure, like that's the kind of thing I need to go back to it. Though, you know, nobody else is really playing it much. When we did Archipelagos with some friends, in the Archipelago, friends were doing co-op Dark Souls 3, I'm pretty sure. And that conceptually is just really cool to do. That would probably be the way I would get some friends in on like co-oping a Souls game, as if it was done for a randomizer, basically. Yeah, it's hard to say until you get to like the Twilight segments, like back in that prison, how you want to really judge the bloom. Like those Twilight segments are where it makes the most utilization of it. Or in sense mode, I think this too. Yeah, kinda, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I was when I was playing through the GameCube version, so that I could get footage of it. I was constantly thrown off. Like I said, when I played this game originally, I played the Wii version. So how I remember the game and all the orientation of it is to the Wii version. So I'm very thankful I can play it with controls like this and get the mirrored version of the game. Hello, cat. Here. And this is for the shield? No? It's up there. There we go. That's what I thought. There we go. There we go. Oh, right, the window up there. There we go. Yeah, this game really has you asking you to do a lot before you get to, the first dungeon. Does this port add extra item buttons for the left bumper? No, not right now anyway, I don't think. There's no, like, that has to be coming though, I imagine. Like, it's gonna have to have that soon, I think. I'm excited for when it does, because it is annoying to only work with the 2 buttons. And Midna always takes the Z button. But yeah, I have to imagine that'll be on the list of things to get done. Did I run like right in front of her there? The game, the game is so long, I might just like keep going in the meantime, and just by the time they add that feature, I'll still probably be playing it. And think, alright, first dungeon time. Nope. Not yet. There we go. I forgot this whole time that I'm playing at 120. I sure hope the stream has looked 60 FPS. The game's very smooth. I hope that properly comes through. I'm pretty sure it does. I think it's a case of I'm now used to seeing it 120, so when I look over and see it at 60, it looks wrong. Because it looks like stuttery. Hopefully, like, just looking at like the VOD later, it'll be smooth. Yeah, the The default button is for Midna is actually select. That's where it puts the Z button, and I moved it to the left bumper. The problem is that the select button also brings up the menu, this menu. But yeah, for now I just moved it up to the bumper. I think we get some more panning shots and auto cutscenes here. Just a reminder of the settings while we're here. Yeah, it's just like, however you want it, you got those options. Menu to the thumbstick click. Yeah, I wanted to, can I change which button is for the menu, actually? I didn't look at that. No, I don't think you can. Right, because it would be here. Yeah, so my only choice was remapping Midna. We have to go that way, right? I'm getting pretty hungry. I'm definitely gonna go get these tiers. But yeah, this is I mean, it's such a promising, everything's in such a promising state right now. It's just gonna be exciting to see where this project goes. And for like a bog standard playthrough, yeah, it's a good time to start on it and give it a shot. For me, it's definitely going to be trying to clear through the game, and I imagine it just like I'm ready for it, you know. I'm ready to give it a good college try to finish this game. Because it's always been really annoying to me that I've never fully finished it. But I was so close to finishing it. There we go. I was talking about, like, it would be nice to get the HD texture pack going. Though at the same time, the frame rate and the ultra-wide resolution might be enough. But yeah, I'll decide on that. Actually, we're this far in, and I've gotten a good given a good example of how the game looks at 16:9. I can go ultra wide, give myself that pleasure. No, y'all go all auto for now. Nah. Yeah, that's how I remember the game looking for sure. This feels like it's going in exponential growth. Actually, that doesn't feel like it's doing much of anything at all. I guess because it's as it say, higher values make the bright areas glow more strongly. I kinda see it. Oh, I see. I'm seeing it looking at the ground. I think it's easier to see. I was looking at where it was brightest. Yeah, so if I was to play it like this, turn that mini-map shadow back on. So now it's at ultra-wide. Man, that's interesting. Okay, higher resolution. I literally don't think you can, like, even if you know, no, like, it literally won't work. That's funny. Well, trying to check on how those save states, autosaves work. Alright, cool. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. There we go. I missed. There we go. I might do something stupid with reshade, like a little motion blur, maybe. I wouldn't subject anyone else to watch. Man, this is what I mean, right? Like, yeah, if you want to turn off all the motion blur, the bloom off if you want. Yeah, it's really for these Twilight segments that it makes the biggest difference. Let's go with it for off for a while, just to show it off. Since we got a good look at it otherwise. I do appreciate the image just being cleaner in general, I gotta say. Even if this is just simply not what they intended the game to look like, you know? This is by all means not what they wanted you to see. But damn, is it nice to just see the cleaner image. So, let's see. So, we'll do these first two, and let me just show you what it's like when the fast setting is on. If you know, you know. Okay, and now let's go and turn it off. How slow were they originally? Oops. 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 Like, yeah, maybe it's less tears, but I appreciate how fast they are. Or maybe it's still more tears. Like, you know, once they tone down it, or just, like, make it so there's less tears, that'll be nice. But for now, the fact that they're so much faster. And really, the tears don't bother me nearly as much now, just because of... I think they're handled worse in Skyward Sword. So here, it's like, at least it's not as bad as it could be. So I let it slide. We already got that chest, I'm pretty sure. You know, for some randomizer projects, they do a thing where they just remove the overworld entirely. And that kind of situation, and even with some randomizers, they have enough settings to where you can sort of recreate that anyway. That would be pretty cool to do with Twilight Princess. I think that would be my fun way of doing it. Is item checks and locations are only in dungeons, and there's nothing I have to worry about getting in the overworlds. My only gameplay will be in the dungeons. When I do there was the thing about Ship of Arcanian I didn't really say, but when I do that, when I do Wind Waker, I want to explore the whole ocean. That's my goal there. When I do Ocarina of Time, I only have settings on to essentially put most of the checks in dungeons. So it's like, do you want to turn all pots, crates, grass into checks? And I have them set to only in dungeons. That's how I prefer to do that. So that at least I can spend more time in the dungeons themselves and get more reward for doing the dungeons. I think that feels better. And then I'm not worrying about doing everything. Oh man. I'm not worried about doing as much in the overworld. And remembering all of the menial small tasks that you have to do in Ocarina of Time. It's just a lot easier for me to focus when it's like the main goal is still the dungeons. I think I'll do that with a Link to the Past, actually. I'm pretty sure it has the settings for that. Where it's just disable any checks that are not in dungeons. Or at least make sure that the bulk of your checks are in dungeons. So that you make it so most of your gameplay time is just spent on dungeons. As compared to Ship of Arcanian. The potential to get to where those ones are is there. It's 100% totally there. But it has a long way to go before it is at that one. Because like Ship of Arcanian also, like randomized music and music packs, it has custom UI and HUD placement. That'll be great to get so that if I wanted to play the game in ultra wide and stream it, I can move the UI to be 16:9 so I can hit this button and you guys get the full 16:9 game, but the UI is cropped. If this was like Ship of Arcinian, I could move the UI back in frame and hold it there. But otherwise, if I want to play ultra wide, I gotta do it like this. So the potential to get to where Ship of Arcinian is totally there. It'll be a while before it's there. I'm gonna keep an eye on randomizer progress in the meantime. But I probably won't be attempting runs of it anytime soon. Excuse me. Like I said, yeah, the big appeal to any of the games that are not Wind Waker is the dungeons. So it'll just be like trying to, as long as the settings are there so where I can put all the checks in dungeons, that's gonna be my goal. I love the Christmas themed update that they had for Ship of Arcinian 2. That was a lot of fun. I'm definitely gonna end up doing Ocarina of Time randomizer every Christmas season, just so I can like do that. They turn the Triforce hunt mode into an ornament hunt mode, and that's really fun. You find enough ornaments and then put them on the tree in Kakariko, and then that's the whole game, is collecting the ornaments. Yeah, ship sets a gold standard. Wind Waker is probably further, probably getting along. I don't think it's nearly. We were talking about it earlier. It's not nearly as far along yet, but it's certainly getting there. But that one's okay because I don't mind emulating Wind Waker and playing it through Dolphin. I don't mind that at all. I enjoy the base game of it so much, it doesn't like really bother me to play it like that. It's already got all the features I'd like incorporated. Aside from frame rate. The game already has free camera movement, unlike the other ones. That's really the big thing, huh? And like I was saying, that's underrated for this one. Like, that's such a big deal to have the free roaming camera. Yeah, that's a big deal, and I guess Wind Waker's not missing that. Is there? Wind Waker just. Oh no, the C-Stick still had other. No, yeah, it would still be there. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, so free camera movement, like in Wind Waker HD, I'm pretty sure has it, and 60 FPS. Other than that, like, there's not many other features I really need out of a Wind Waker port that can't already be done in emulation. How does Dusk compare to the Wii U version? It doesn't... I'm willing to bet, like, the changes in the Wii U version are on the to-do list. But you are still playing the GameCube version, basically. There is a toggle for the mirrored mode, which I have been using the whole time. So if you play the GameCube version and you want to play it like this, my brain can't wrap my head around this anymore. This is not for me. I have to play it mirrored. And same with like the Wii U version textures, hopefully are on the to-do list. The Frog Lore minigame? Right, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, because in my playtest earlier today, I've gone up to like a little bit, not much further from here. I went like halfway through the first dungeon. Which really isn't that far off from here, but I'm hungry, so... Yeah, the 4K texture pack does work. I wasn't able to download it for the stream, but you do have things like that already working. The mod launcher is already in the works. The potential's gonna go crazy. I'm really excited for any of these, for the randomizer to get to the state of where it is for other games. Like, I'll be a really big fan of that. I for sure, like, Archipelago, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, Ocarina of Time, and I get to have them all customized to the settings I want. That'll be great. That'll be a lot of fun. Hell, I would do that for Majora's Mask even. If I could do it in the same vein. Well, I have to respect that part of the appeal of Majora's Mask is how its side quests are dictated by the pace and the clock. If I'm just beelining the dungeons in Majora's Mask, I don't know if that's kind of getting that same experience of Majora's Mask. Maybe if it's like dedicated to all dungeons. But that would mean I'm not as big on Wind Waker's dungeons compared to, like, Ocarina of Time has the best dungeons in my opinion. And Wind Wakers are okay. And dungeons are the worst part of Majora. Yeah, it's like the appeal is the clock and all the side quests to Majora's Mask. Actually, maybe that's what I'll do is for Majora's Mask, checks not in dungeons, checks in the overworld, and doing the side quests. But then for Ocarina of Time, for Twilight Princess, it's about the dungeons. Archipelago lets you do that, you know, why not? Wind Waker would be another one where it's the point of it is, for me, is exploration. Yeah, that sounds fun, actually. And then maybe get Link to the Past in there too. Got our tunic. We might as well just go into the whole segment here. Brave Link. Send Link. There it is, original game. And if I crop it. There you go. It's like the fact that I can just do this and it's just as simple as toggling through settings. The whole UI for Dusk, by the way, shout out to whoever's like programmed all of this and like makes it bring up with the select button and just all the features of it work like this. This is really cool. What the hell was that? Odd audio pop. Does the game support the Switch 2 online GameCube controller? Oh. I have no clue. I don't own that controller, so I wouldn't be able to tell. If it registers as like an X input or a Switch controller, it might. My controller here just shows up as an X input controller. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, X input controller 1. It might, but I don't know. Dolphin doesn't use it. I may maybe not hold your breath for it. That is kind of weird, huh? By this point, I would think that Dolphin would support it. And support the Steam controller. Well, that just came out. Give him a little time on that one. Okay. Now we're really getting into it. Let me see how the bloom is here. With the water, this should be a good example. This should be just a good example of everything visually. Can I move this window? No, I can't actually. Huh. I would have liked to move it to the left or right. Just so I could like properly go through all the settings. If I'm playing an ultra wide, I think I have to turn up the resolution. Playing it at ultra wide, but at the native res, this just isn't right. Like if it's gonna be brute force to ultra wide resolution, it might as well be sharper like this. Yeah, even there it's subtle. Yeah, I think dusk might end up being the way to dusk at 50%. Maybe further down. Yeah, this one's it's the bloom really just comes into play once you're in the Twilight areas. I'll also have to see how I feel about it once I get that HD texture pack in. But yeah, I would for an HD texture pack, I would prefer the Twilight Princess HD. We'll see how that goes. It took a while for Ship of Harkinian to get proper 3DS textures in. I don't know if it's going to be a similar situation. The reason for that was because Ocarina of Time 3DS remodeled everything, and with remodeling it, the UV maps between the original N64 geometry and the 3DS geometry did not line up at all. And models were like completely separate. There were some separated models between the two as well. So UV mapping and all the where everything is all fucked up for a while. I don't know when the update was. I think it was in the last few months for the 3DS textures in Ship of Harkinian. They are significantly more accurate now than what they were before. And I'm very glad somebody was like still working on that, because I really do prefer how the 3DS version of Ocarina of Time looks. Yep, ship with the 3DS models. Yep, I was praising them earlier, yeah. I like that it just gives you those options too. Don't have as much money. Sorry, bud. There's also codes for the wallet upgrades right away, I think. Wallet sizes are like in the HD version. Disable rupee cutscenes. Faster climbing. Tears of Light faster. Auto saves. Instant saves. Hold B for instant text. No climbing miss animation, no rupee returns, no sword recoil. When the sword hits the wall, no second cat for fish. Sun Song is a button combo. Quick transform is a button combo. And some other cheats. The 3DS, 3 models. Well, 3DS Majora's Mask, which is also a version of it I do like. But people are more people prefer the original over that one for 3DS. Like, as in, Majora's Mask 3DS changed too much for people. I do like its art style more though, personally. Like if Majora's Mask Decomp had that same thing, where it had 3DS models, assets ported in, I'd play that over it. Still got lantern oil, but right now I don't need it. I should check, because I'm moving pretty fast, so let me just check. Yes, I did open that. Okay. Always liked rolling in this game. It's really damn fast when you roll in this game. Skeptical on Ocarina of Time remake. Yeah, we don't really need it. But, well, we'll see. The thing about, like, Star Fox, I didn't talk about this earlier. My thing with Star Fox is that price point. Like, if it was an entirely new optional campaign, if it was a Kiwami where it included, like, an optional, or it included a bonus campaign where you play through as James, that would be cool. Even if it's the same levels, but remixed. If it was all of the levels remixed and you played them as James, that would, for me, I would, and the multiplayer, that's another aspect to it, that I would pay for it $50 for. If it's original Star Fox 64 with just the multiplayer, I'd do 30, but I'm not gonna do 50. My friend Tom loves Star Fox 64. That's his favorite N64 game. I will definitely be watching him play that. Where's the monkey? Oh, right, I have to pull this out, and then it spawns the monkey. Charging us for the cutscenes, yeah. But if it's... I'm fine with the designs, too. The designs kind of bother me. I see what they were going for. Ultimately, it's whatever, but if it was like... Yeah, if James had his own prologue, like, remix versions of all the levels, and not just Venom, I would be on board. So you get both all the original versions of them, and then James's version of them, that would be great. Like, it has a lot of replayability. Like, that was the whole point of Star Fox 64, and most of the Star Fox games is the replayability and the different routes you can do. Well, okay, the first game in 64, not Assault. Assault doesn't have the routes like that. They kind of lost it by that point. Yeah, I didn't realize, I forgot how Cat looked in the original, or how Cat looked in Star Fox Zero as well. I talked about my favorite game was Assault in the series, but also I really loved, I was a really big fan of Star Fox Command because that was like one of the first multiplayer games I played on handheld. My dad was a professor at a university, at a college. So my first time playing, like, my first time with Wi-Fi was at the was using college Wi-Fi. So it was the first time I really got to, like, play any online games on DS was when he brought me along to the office, and I would just play on the public Wi-Fi there. Granted, they don't do that now. That you are not getting that. The public Wi-Fi was just public Wi-Fi on that campus. That they do not do that anymore. But back then, for a brief time, that was the first time doing that because they didn't. The other option was McDonald's, which the McDonald's in the area did not have Wi-Fi because it was too damn small, far too rural in the middle of nowhere, East Coast. So there was no hope of at that time for a McDonald's to have free Wi-Fi. And eventually it got, for the Wii, I had the USB Ethernet adapter, which I still was using even on Switch. But DS doesn't have you can't do wired. So we use the Nintendo Wi-Fi connector. It was a USB adapter plugged into a PC and made a Wi-Fi signal. So I got to use that for a little while. Until we eventually got a router that had Wi-Fi. Still not a thing everyone had at the time. This shit is so cool. What a cool touch this is. And seeing this quote-unquote spiritual Link have the shifting legs, his little shuffle he does. That shit is so cool. This series is great, man. Like, you don't need any context or understanding or care for the timeline for Wind Waker or for Twilight Princess, but having the knowledge is just like this deeper appreciation for them. Especially for Wind Waker, well, yeah, for both of them, it plays a lot into the world building, but it's just so much of the world building in Wind Waker. Oh, damn it. Well, I was about to call it here anyway. But I don't have the money for, wait, yes I do, because I have a free bottle. He gives you an extra bottle for 100 rupees. Or you can just buy the oil. Oh, the remake is harder. For some reason, I always thought Star Fox was hard, but I mean when I was younger. I had a lot of trouble with it when I was younger. Now it's like, yeah, especially, well, I think it is really cool watching the directs back, and seeing like the expert difficulty that they put into the new version. And all the challenges for you to get for. I think for anyone that is a fan of the original, that's like good replayability being offered right there. I can't go back for Royal. Yeah, for like the difficulty settings they put into the new one are gonna be interesting. I don't think this is oil, is it? Oh, yes it is. Okay. What do I owe you? ₹20. I've been trying to instinctively use the D-pad in menus, and right now that doesn't work. So that'll be a nice thing eventually down the line is for the D-pad to navigate menus. But right now you gotta use the analog stick. Boss is dying in mere seconds at the cause of hurting my fingers. That's true, yeah. It does, the difficulty settings are shown off in the direct. I remember, I think it's enemies do more damage, but I don't remember if enemies take more damage was also there. It wasn't what I was looking for, so I don't remember. What a cool system this was with the dynamic light of the lantern. Oh, it's past 10 o'clock. All right. I'm gonna call it here at the start of the Forest Temple. This is about where I wanted to get to anyway, and showing the game off. Thanks everyone for watching and checking this out with me. Good potential coming in the future. Like I said, if you want to see me more active anywhere, I am gonna be streaming more on Twitch. In general for videos though, it's just, you know, it's gonna be some time. I appreciate people understanding that and having patience. We'll get some more in time, though. Yep, gotta find Twilight Princess on GameCube for it. Get the dump of it. Alright. thanks everyone for tuning in. This is a lot of fun. I'm happy to have got to yap about all this too. And put this on stream. Yeah, stream was a lot of fun. Thanks everyone for joining. I'll see you all for the next stream, whenever that is. And until next time, thank you all again for the continued support, and bye for now.